Hello, hello, hello. So I'm coming on here to do week 5, part 2. And this is a part of a series that I'm calling Relation Shook, because relationships are shooketh on and in paradise. So this is part 3 of this series, and this is week 5, part 2. So let's go. Thanks for listening and watching. So we're going to just start right out with the Kiddy Date. Joe and Kendall actually won a date, and everyone thought it was going to be this romantic, beautiful date. And as a surprise, some of the past Bachelor in Paradise couples came, Jade and Tanner, and Carly and Evan. And they had the opportunity to do what they thought they were going to do the previous episode, which was pretty much get interviewed by these past couples to see who would go on this deserving date. Now, we know prior it ended actually being it was a diversion. So they did not get a chance to speak to couples of Paradise Past. So this time, the couples of Paradise Past came back, and they actually did want to award a worthy couple with a date card on a very indulgent date. So those two couples came and they spoke with so many of the couples. They mentioned that Jordan and Jenna seemed to really be in love, or Jordan seemed to really be in love with her. So do you guys think it's going to end an engagement with them? You know, we'll see. They also could tell that Kevin and Astrid really loved each other, and that was nice. So some of the couples are really doing really well. But they decided to give the date to Joe and Kendall. And they did. So Joe and Kendall were really excited. They felt they really needed it. But what it turned out to be was them literally babysitting the kids. So, of course, they didn't leave their kids with them and go off on an actual date. It was just probably them leaving them with the children for an hour or two, if that, and then coming back. And of course, we see shots of them having manis and petties and massages and drinks by the pool, or, you know, on floaty things in the pool and that sort of thing. So you can tell that whenever they have that fun, or whenever they have that shoot, they enjoy themselves, and then they were able to come back. But when Joe and Kendall were with their children, it was a boy and a girl, Carly and Evan, and Jade and Tanner's children. They had to put together some sort of playpen or whatever the things are that the kids sleep in, and entertain the children so that they can stop crying, basically, because those kids were like, we miss our parents, we miss our mommy and daddy. So that was interesting. But they seemed to bond and work well together, so that was good. It wasn't much of a date, but after that, they did have some time together, and they did spend some time alone on a date. So that was nice, and I think that it kind of strengthened their relationship. But do you think that they're still together? Do you think that they lasted beyond Paradise, or was that almost a survival romance, basically, where they're just together on the island and enjoying each other's company, but knowing that that's pretty much where it's going to end? I don't know. What do you think? Other couples to mention are Krystal and Krystal. I think they really wanted the date and thought they were going to get the date. They seemed to be in love with each other. They did have a date, and Chris R did say that he is in love with Krystal, And, you know, prior he was saying he was beginning to fall in love with her, but now he's just totally in love with Krystal. And I believe she reciprocates those feelings. And so they are doing really good. Another big thing that happened on the island was with Eric and Cassandra. So after that whole fiasco with Angela and Eric, you know, obviously Angela left the island because she didn't get Eric's rose or anyone else's. And then Eric and Cassandra, and that was because obviously she thought she was all in with Eric. So Eric and Cassandra got together. She kind of gave him another chance. So everyone's hanging out in paradise, enjoying each other's company, doing what couples do. And then you see Eric and Cassandra and they're in stark contrast to the other couples. And that Cassandra, I don't quite remember which couple that Cassandra pointed out, because there were some new arrivals, like Diggy arrived and he took Olivia out on a date, and that seemed to go well. And in actuality, I do not remember exactly who she was referring to. She was just like, oh, look at them, and they met today. But she was looking at, there was a huge contrast between how they were interacting with each other. And she just mentioned that to Eric, and Eric's like, well, that's them, this is us. You move at your own pace, I move at my own pace, and that's just how it is. And he's like, I'm not going to rush, you know, you wouldn't want me to rush, or we wouldn't want each other to rush, or however he phrased it, and be uncomfortable to try to force something where, as I see it right now, we're friends. Then she just, you know, is pretty honest with him. And I'm so glad she was honest with him. She's like, I just don't think you're really ready for a relationship. And it was that honesty that really made him think, wow, I'm really not ready for a relationship. And I think it was very brave of him to realize that after she was very honest with him and said that to him, because we saw it in how he was acting with Angela. You know, those are symptoms of a man not being ready for a relationship, when you say you're all in and then back out of it the next moment, and don't even discuss it with the person that you said you're all in with, you know, until after making a decision and showing that person by her actions, not even giving her kind of a heads up, showing her, you know, with his actions. But anyway, so then he kind of goes in a tailspin. At least that's the way it seemed on TV, where he was really thinking about it. He's walking on the beach by himself, thinking about everything. And he's like, wow, I'm not ready. And you could tell that he really wants to love. You know, he's at that age, I guess, where he feels like he should want to be in a relationship and feels like he's ready to be in a relationship, but he's really not, because emotionally he's just not, I guess, secure to the point where he can really actually give his all. He keeps talking about other people giving their all and he knows what he wants, but at the end of the day, it's really him that seems to not be able to give his all and have the capacity to give his all yet, and not be able to actually be all in, even though he's projecting that, like, oh yeah, I know what I want, and you know, I'm ready to be in a relationship and I want to be all in, all that stuff that he was telling Cassandra. But he had the opportunity to do that with Angela, and he made all the lip movements, but it just seemed like his actions weren't there. So he made the brave decision to leave paradise and to just kind of, I guess, work on himself, so that when he is really ready to be all in, he really can be. So I definitely applaud Eric. He was a good guy, and you know, his heart, he really wants that for his heart, but he's just not there yet. And he admitted it, and that's brave. And that's what being a man is about, being able to admit where you are, take that responsibility and make those decisions and not bring people into your mess and hurt them because you can't handle it. So I applaud Eric for making that tough decision to leave Paradise. So when he left, before he left, people were saying bye. Astrid was hugging him for quite some time. I could have sworn I saw Kevin looking like, why are you hugging him for such a long time? Like, okay, like let a little pat on the shoulder, a little brief hug. And then Shu was crying. Shoshana was crying. And Jordan, New Zealand Jordan, Kiwi Jordan, he was like, kind of like looking at her and saying, oh, well, why are you crying? She's like, oh, he's so nice. He's so nice to me since day one. As if, what everybody else mean to you? I don't know. But I think she was just saying that. Okay, we won't go there. But speaking of Shu, she cannot let it go between Kamil and Annaliese. So we'll just talk about the scenario, not the people. But, or, you know, whatever. So with Shu, and I think maybe, I don't know if we've all been there. I can't say that we've all been there, because some people just like what they can't have. And I don't know what that's about. There has to, you know, I don't know. But she is still not over the date with Kamil and the fact that he and Annaliese have moved on, to the point where she's displaying kind of what the other people in Paradise feel is a little bit of erratic behavior. They start wondering if she's a witch. And to be honest, I missed it. I don't know where that rumor came from, but they start thinking she's a witch. You see, I don't know if I missed that part, but you see like a picture burning. It's just weird. And, you know, she's crying. She's like, I'm not a witch. And it's just a very odd portion of the episode. Then moving on from that, but still talking about this whole scenario, she again cannot let it go. Jordan goes to her and he basically asked her out on a date. And this is New Zealand Jordan. She turns him down and says, I'm just not ready. I'm not over it. And I'm like, over what? What do you need to get over? You had one date. This is one date, folks. This is not like they have been dating, you know, and this is not like it was an Angela and Eric situation. I'm just trying to find something to compare it to. This is not like she was coupled up with Kamil. She literally had one date with this guy, and I don't know if she's thinking I don't know what she's thinking, but she is, as Jordan said, clingy. So she has clung to this idea of being with Kamil. And then it's like the more he says no, the more she's thinking yes. Then she even starts to think about the whole Carly and Evan situation as if there's some parallel there, but there's not at all, because there's a huge difference. If you remember, it was Evan who was pining for Carly, and she didn't see it, and it took a while, but she did finally start seeing him that way, and she fell in love with him. That's more of the norm, more of what we see, rather than a woman just being rejected basically consistently, and then just continuing going and going and going until she wears the guy down, or the guy wakes up, or the guy gets tired of fighting, or the guy, you know, thinks, well, maybe I do love her, or the guy actually falls in love. That is more of the exception and not the rule. And so some kind of way, Shu sees herself in the Carly Evans situation. And then it doesn't help that you have people like Olivia stroking her hair and saying, oh, you're not crazy. It's okay. Yeah, I love him. You know, like encouraging this like not good behavior, encouraging her basically to continue to display behavior that's like self-loathing and not self-loving, because she deserves, as any of us do, deserve someone who actually loves us back and is not rejecting us consistently and saying, I don't like you and I don't see it. And that's exactly what Kamil is doing. He told her, I don't like you. And he even said, you know, he's kind of is getting creeped out because he looks over. Oh my goodness. So he says he looks over to her and he can see her staring. Sorry, hold on. He says that he can see her staring at him, and you know, I guess it doesn't make him feel comforted. Okay, so I have to like calm down. So anyway, that's what he's saying on one end, and we're gonna get into the mixed signals, but I just wanted to go back quickly. You know, Jordan said something very interesting when he offered her the date and she turned him down. He's like, I don't want any part of it because it's just, you know, she needs to leave that in baggage claim. And I'm like, you know what, Jordan, that's right. That's just baggage that she doesn't need to carry around. And there's no reason why there should be baggage there. If anything, it should be a garment bag, maybe a carry-on. But she's got the garment bag, carry-on, and, you know, the check-in baggage. And there's no reason for that. They only literally had one date. And there was no connection. And Kamil said that, and that was it. Diggy, who also came to the island, asked her out on a date, and she also turned him down, and he said the same thing. There's just baggage. He wants to just have fun, you know, be light, fun, woo, have a good time. We're in paradise. But, you know, she's stuck on this one date with Kamil. So now we can move back, fast forward to where we were, and the mixed signals that Kamil is giving her. Attention men, mixed signals 101. Featuring Shu and Kamil. So the reason why I say that Kamil is giving Shu mixed signals is because we hear him say all those things, like he doesn't like her. She's kind of, I'm paraphrasing, the creeping him out sort of thing, because she's always staring at him and that sort of thing. But then they're all sitting around the bonfire, like hanging out. And then they're saying goodnight to everyone. Okay, follow Annaliese's lead. I didn't see Annalise give Shu a kiss on the cheek. So why are you, Kamil? Why are you? That's mixed signal number, like, huge one. Why are you giving her a kiss on the cheek? There's no need for that. He actually went out of his way. They were all sitting down on the sand, and then everybody says bye, but he gets up and makes it's not like she's sitting next to him. She's sitting alone. He makes his way over to her, kneels down, and kisses her on the cheek. That was not necessary. That's giving her false hope. No contact physically whatsoever. You have someone to have physical contact with. There's no need for the kiss on the cheek. She's already, you know, thinking there could be hope. Okay. And why are you giving her a kiss on the cheek? That is physical affection. Whether you want to agree or not, it's physical affection. What do you guys think? That's physical affection. And if that's her love language, you're now feeding into the fact that she's feeling loved by you in some weird way, even though you're rejecting her. And she's thinking, oh, there's hope for me yet. Another thing, another physical affection I'm seeing is him giving her all these side hugs. He keeps giving her side hugs. Stop it. Stop with the physical affection. This is, again, giving her false hope that there is some potential between you guys. There's no need for that. Then on top of it, she is like, hey, let's talk about this. And he's like, oh, okay. I don't know why Annalise said, yeah, that's fine. You know, I would have checked on them after a while. I don't know. Should she have? I don't know. Maybe that's what I would have done. I can't put myself like in that headspace, but I think that it would have been totally appropriate, potentially in that situation, for her to just be like, you know, after a while, just to check in like everyone does there anyway, and just grab him back and be like, hey, let's go play in the water or do said thing to just get him away from her, because she is just very, but you know what? I'm thinking about it, and maybe Annaliese, you know, played it the right way. I don't know. What do you guys think? But anyway, the other thing that he's giving her is words of affirmation, which is another mixed signal. First of all, he sets it up where they have alone time. I don't think he needed to do that to talk to her, because he's already said that. Or he could have brought Annaliese. He could have said, sure, and brought Annaliese, especially if now you guys are a couple. I think they were pretty much a couple at that point. Bring her along. Why does she not have privy to the conversation that you're having with this woman, especially if you're saying that you and Annaliese are together, and especially if this girl cannot get it through her head that you do not want to be with her? Bring along someone else. It might be a good idea to go ahead and do that, so that you have someone else there to be like just around, and you can say anything you have to say to me about us. She can hear, because we're a couple. That will also, you know, put it in Shu's mind that, hey, oh, they're actually a couple and they're like acting as one right now. So this is not penetrable. But because he went off into like, you know, the little romantic let's talk area, let's put our feet in the hot tub area, which is where Leo also brought Chelsea to kind of canoodle with her. Like, this is that little romantic area, guys. Why are you allowing her to bring you into the lion's den? Just cut that, nip that in the bud. Then he gives her, moving along, because I didn't even tell you what he said. He goes, yeah, you're beautiful inside and you have a good inside, but your inside doesn't match what I'm going. You don't have to give her those compliments. Just say, look, there's someone for you, but it's not me. Like, again, and then he also says something that I feel was a huge mixed signal, number 3. He goes, I don't see it working between us this current moment. Dun, dun, dun. That was a huge, huge opening in this girl's mind. Huge opening. Because that gives her, in her mental situation right there, the thought process of, oh, current moment. So that means at a future moment, we could actually be a thing. At a future moment, something could happen between him and the blonde girl, which is what she refers to Annaliese as. And it's not like a cute nickname. She's doing it to be rude. And that's another thing he could have nipped in the bud when he had the little private conversation with her. Hey, I'm with Annaliese now. You need to accept that. And I won't accept blank, blank disrespect moving forward, you disrespecting her. You got to lay it down, guys. You can't give these girls mixed signals when you have a woman. Okay, why leave that open unless you're trying to feed your ego, which also is something that, you know, would not be right. But if you have someone there that's out of the friend zone now and you obviously like, you gotta put that wall up with other women who are coming at you, because you're going to give them mixed signals through, you know, physical affection. Even if it's a little kiss on the cheek and side hug, that's physical affection. And you're making this person who's already thinking confused and that there could be a future with you, you're giving them mixed signals. You're giving them mixed signals with the, you know, words of affirmation, saying you're beautiful on the inside and, you know, you have a good inside. You're beautiful on the outside and you have a good inside and you're a great girl. And I think, but, you know, we're just not doing it. Bam. Third mixed signal, current moment, using like terminology that's just confusing for someone who's thinking there could be an opportunity for you guys in the future. So mixed signal 101, guys. Just don't do it. I know Kamil seems like a really sweet guy and he probably doesn't even realize that he's doing this, but this happens so much in real life from Paradise. Like, you see it all the time. And then the guy's like, oh, I don't know why she still likes me. I thought that I made it really clear to her. I made it really clear. You see, it was not clear. Then we see Annaliese has to go and now expend energy to talk to this girl who is doesn't still seem, I think she finally got it through her head, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's all I have to say about that. There's gonna be more things happening in Paradise for next week. We've got American Jordan, who faces off with swimmer Bobby, who comes in. It seems like he's trying to move in on Jenna. So, you know, we got Barbie and Ken couple, and we're gonna see if we're gonna see if Malibu Ken wins, or I should say which Malibu Ken wins, or who would be Malibu Ken, guys, which one. But yeah, we're gonna see that upcoming this week. So this was part 3 and week 5 part 2. Thanks for listening, watching. Please subscribe. Would love to have you a part of this channel in that capacity. Please comment. Would love to hear your thoughts on anything I've said, and share and replay. Why not? Just replay. Okay.